Most men spend their lives chasing the wrong secret. They think women want gifts, smooth lines, or the perfect physique. They think attraction is about tricks or external displays. But the truth is far simpler. The most powerful way to connect with a woman, to win her loyalty, her desire, even her body, is not found in games or gimmicks. It lies in two words so disarmingly simple that most men overlook them. Yet when spoken with authenticity, they carry more weight than diamonds, more seduction than wine, and more power than any strategy you could memorize. Those words are, I understand. Why do these words work? Why do they pierce deeper than compliments or promises? Because to a woman, being understood is the ultimate intimacy. Stoic philosophy tells us that human beings suffer less from events themselves than from the stories they tell about those events. And in every woman's life there are stories of being dismissed, ignored, unheard. For centuries, women have been silenced, reduced to roles, treated as accessories to men's ambitions. When a man looks into her eyes and says with genuine presence, I understand, he does what almost no one else has ever done. He listens. He validates her humanity. And in that moment, her defenses collapse. A woman may open her legs to lust, but she opens her soul to understanding. And once the soul is open, the body follows effortlessly. Stoicism teaches that the highest virtue is wisdom, and wisdom begins with perception, seeing things clearly as they are. Most men enter interactions clouded by ego. They listen to reply, not to perceive. They hear words but miss meaning. They rush to impress instead of to comprehend. But the Stoic man, the man who lives by reason and calm awareness, knows that to understand is more powerful than to dominate. To say I understand is not merely to speak, but to reflect back her truth, to show her she is not alone in her private battle. Let me paint you a picture. She is sitting across from you. She talks about her struggles, her exhaustion with work, her frustrations with people who don't see her effort, her disappointments in love. Most men in that moment would interrupt with advice. They would jump in with solutions, or worse, with jokes to lighten the mood. But the Stoic man does not do this. He waits. He lets her speak. He watches her body relax as the words pour out. And when she finishes, he looks into her eyes and says softly, I understand. It is not the words alone that move her. It is the presence behind them. She feels seen. She feels heard. And in a world that constantly demands she give without receiving, that moment becomes sacred. But why does this lead to desire? Why do these two words break down barriers faster than any seductive script? The answer lies in biology as much as psychology. For a woman, desire is deeply tied to safety and trust. Her body will not yield unless her mind feels secure. To be understood is to feel safe, to know that her emotions will not be ridiculed or dismissed. When she feels this, her nervous system calms, her guard dissolves, and intimacy becomes effortless. What others call crazy chemistry is often just this, a woman finally feeling like she can let go. Think of Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor. In his meditations he wrote, when someone shows you their wound, you have the chance to be a healer. Most men rush past wounds, afraid of emotion, but the man who understands does not flinch. He listens, he accepts, he says, I understand. And in that acceptance, healing begins. And with healing, attachment grows. The irony is that most men chase techniques when they should be cultivating presence. They memorize lines when they should be practicing silence. They buy gifts when they should be offering attention. They chase novelty when they should be embodying wisdom. The two words, I understand, cannot be faked. They demand genuine listening, genuine empathy. But once mastered, they turn even the coldest encounter into warmth. Let us go deeper. When a woman argues, she does not want you to crush her logic. She wants to feel that her emotions are recognized. When she complains, she does not always want solutions. She wants her frustration mirrored back. When she dreams, she does not want your judgment. She wants the freedom to express without fear. In every case, the right response begins with, I understand. These words are not submission. They are strength. They show that you are unmoved by defensiveness, that you are calm enough to hold space for her chaos. This is the essence of Stoicism, not to control the world, but to master your response. And the masterful response to the storm of her emotions is simple. Acknowledge them, do not fight them. I understand. Women test men constantly. They do this not out of malice, but because nature has wired them to seek strength and stability. When she throws her storm at you, she wants to know if you can withstand it. Most men either collapse or fight back, both of which show weakness. The Stoic man, however, remains calm. He listens, he nods, and he says, I understand. In that moment, the test ends. She knows she has found a man who does not drown in waves but becomes the shore against which they break. There is a story told of Epictetus, the Stoic slave turned philosopher. He once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This truth has not changed. Women are surrounded by men who talk endlessly, who boast, who command. Rarely do they find a man who listens, who understands. And so when they do, it feels like discovering water in the desert. They cling to it, they open to it. Now some will hear this and scoff. They will say, so all I need to do is say I understand and women will fall at my feet. No, words without presence are empty. If you do not mean them, they are worthless. If you do not listen, they are lies. But if you train yourself, through Stoic discipline, through the practice of attentiveness, through the rejection of ego, then when you say those words, they carry the weight of truth. And truth is irresistible. A woman may resist your charm, she may resist your status, she may resist your wealth, but she cannot resist the man who sees her clearly. She cannot resist the man who understands. Because understanding is the one thing she has always craved, the one thing she has always been denied. So the next time you sit across from her, remember this. You don't need to impress her with grandeur. You don't need to battle her with logic. You don't need to overwhelm her with gifts. You need only to listen, to be present, and when the moment comes, to say quietly, authentically, I understand. That is the Stoic secret. That is the seduction no one teaches. That is the power of 2 words, and if you master them, you will discover something greater than winning her body. You will win her trust. You will win her loyalty. You will win her soul.